Alright. I was gonna do this on my Godmother page, but I couldn't figure out how to share it. And I didn't feel like sitting there talking to myself. So hold on. Just inviting a few people. How are you guys? What's up? What's up? Say hello. I see two of you. Hey Will. Hi. Hey Amber. Hey Cookie. Glad you guys are piling in here. Hey Joe. Hey. Alright. So, I want to talk about ego, the servant, right? Yo, Scott Smith, what's going on, brother? Mwah. Thank you for being on this journey and existing in my experience, all of you. Alright, so, everybody thinks the ego is like this asshole, right? That's always got to be right about everything. But see, ego is this beautiful construct that we have to work with here, right? Everything in this matrix is a construct, and every bit of it was built to be your servant. Every bit of it. Hey Lance, what's going on, brother? So, even ego is your servant, alright? So, alright, when I talk about the God system, I talk about how the universe has this remembering thing. It's like on the movie Click, where you remember how he was clicking through it, and the more that he did it, it remembered it was on autopilot system, and it kept going to where he's just skipping through things at that point. It's just giving him what he wants instead of him asking for it. Well, that's the same way the God system works. That's the same way all of creation works. It's like a computer system, and it remembers what you want the most, and it's tied to what you are, the all-seeing eye, the observer, because without you, the observer cannot experience. Without you, the observer is nothing. It's just it's just a seer. It's an observer, right? It needs you to experience, and it loves to experience, and it loves to serve you, and it loves to make you happy. Same thing with your ego. That's like you can go and do something that you like or that you love, right? That's not really good for you, and you do it so many times, and then you're like, shit, this isn't good for me, so I'm gonna change my habits. And you go to let go of that thing that was making you happy for so long, and then the ego comes into the back of your mind. It's like, no, that's not going to make you happy. What are you doing? That's not going to make you happy to leave me here. I make you happy. This is what you've wanted for so long. This is what has made you happy for so long. Why are you walking away from that? So ego is going to try and talk you out of maneuvering out of whatever it is, because it has that autopilot system, and it just wants to serve you and give you what makes you happy. And the moment that you go to walk away from it, it thinks that it's doing wrong. Literally, it thinks that it's not serving you, and it's supposed to. So therefore, it comes in to try and get you to go back to that so that it can serve you best. And people have the wrong idea about the ego, because they think that the ego is just trying to make them feel bad, or trying to make it you're correct about everything, right? But the ego is just there to serve you. It just wants you to be happy, just like the observer. All right? Like I said, without you, the observer of you, which is that nothingness that you are, cannot experience. It has to have you to experience. And it wants you to be happy. Nobody wants you to be happy more than you. So when you got something in your head trying to make you not happy, that's not you. That's not the observer. Okay? The observer loves the experience. That's why it keeps coming back to have an experience, because like I said, without you it is nothing. So I love how you guys are, I can feel you right now, every one of you. Do you guys fight? Just throw something up so I can see. Do you fight with your ego? Is any of this making sense to you? Come on, say something. Alright, anyway. It's like a friend of mine, Gregory, if he's watching, he was just quitting cigarettes. All the damn time. I know, right? Like, my ego? Okay, let me tell you. I'm going to because I'm not fucking perfect. I am not trying to ever claim that I am perfect. I'm learning every day right along with every one of you. And my ego, that bitch sometimes, I know she just wants to serve me and make me happy. And she's following along to what I desire to be happy, and not always is that desire good for me. So it's a contradiction inside myself. And the other day I was having a conversation with someone, and my ego didn't want to hear what I was hearing. Literally to the point that I was like, I just have to go. I got to hang up right now because I can't listen anymore. My ego was like, nope, that's not making me happy. Done. Don't want to hear it anymore. But it wasn't the ego trying to come in and play a game. It was just the ego coming in as the defense system that it is for your own happiness. All right? So that's... So, you got the ego that is your servant. All right? Realize that everything in this construct is your servant. Everything. And it's always going to remember what you like most. Just like I was talking about, it's remembering what you like most and wanting to serve you that, so it's trying to talk you out of walking away from it. The universe is also remembering everything that you like most. And so whenever you are thinking about negative things a lot, it's going to get on that autopilot system of serving you these negative scenarios and situations that don't serve you, right? Because it doesn't care if it's good for you or not. It just wants to serve you, and you are the determining factor in what you're getting served. So whenever you get into the momentum of one direction or the other, like you go into the direction of the negative, right? And you're getting served all these things that are negative on autopilot coming at you. And you're like, shit, I want to fix this. And you start thinking in a positive way. But you're still getting served this negative shit. It's because you've made this snowball over here that's barreling down a fucking mountain and just serving you all of these things, right? And then you're trying to come in here with this different way of being. It's going to take a minute for you to counteract that, balance it out, and bring the momentum over to the side. So it's the same thing. If you're going in a positive manner and you got this big ball of momentum and positivity and love and good things coming to you, then when you go to think negative, if you have an off day and you start thinking negative, it's not going to affect the momentum and the autopilot system that's over here that is creating in a positive way for you. Does that make sense? Come on, let me know. I don't want to lose anybody. Alright. So, yes, makes sense. Good. I see I'm a little bit behind. It's coming through. I'm sitting here for a minute like, but it must be my connection. Counterbalancing maneuvers, yeah. Yeah, it is. Like when you go all the way down the rabbit hole and you go all the way back to where we come from, right? You realize that you're just thought playing out in the mind. Hence why your mind is the most important, why your mind is what works, why your mind, wherever it goes, your body follows. Right? As above, so below. So when you do something above in the mind, the body, so below, has to follow what the belief is in the mind. And what is the imagination other than a perception of reality? And what is reality other than a perception of the imagination? It's all in and out of itself. What you experience in this world will never be anything other than what you believe you're going to experience. Like, for example, government, right? And I hate talking about this shit, but people got to realize that these things are not, even though you're seeing them, they're energies. Alright, so you're dealing with these people and you say they have power. The fact is, they have no more power than you. The fact is, you are feeding them into having more power by believing that they have more power than you. When you stop that belief, you stop that power. You're feeding their energy, making them more powerful. And that's only by the construct that we live in right now. That's the paradigm that we live in right now that dictates that by you doing that, that you get this, that dictates that there is energy or something or anything like that. Here's a big nugget. Energy doesn't exist. Energy does not exist. Energy, right, was created one day through someone who was trying to describe the undescribable. See, that place that we come from, you cannot describe it. You can't give it a name. You can't do any of those things. So whenever someone starts to, even myself, even you, all of us, we create all of this together. And that's one thing that is beautiful about this. You know, the people that created the paradigm that we're in right now, and I know I'm going off topic, but the people that created the paradigm we're in now, they once realized these things. They realized that they could actually rewrite the entire matrix of what they're living in, right? So, what did they do? They thought they knew what was best for everyone, and they created what we live in right now. Before what we live in right now, there was something else that we live in, that someone else created, right? So, what I have uncovered, not through my own discovery, but what is already here, because nothing is new under the sun, is that we have that ability. And it's not something that I want to go and say, okay, I'm going to just create all this because I know how, and I can just rewrite this whole system for everybody and do it by my liking. That's not what I want to do. That's how you're not including yourself in the decision and the creation by doing so. So I want you guys to have these keys, these understandings, these knowings, so that we can sit down and say, okay, we want this construct to be this, we want this meaning to be that, we want these words to be this way, we want this to be this way, that way, whatever we want it to mean, because we have that power. We can change anything. Everything in this system is a construct, and we have the ability to modify every construct. Down to our vessel, down to every essence of our being. We can change it. We have that authority. This is our dominion. And that's what I want you guys to realize. We're going to create a new paradigm. Whether you want to believe it or not, or be a part of it or not, it is happening right now in front of your face. I'm just trying to clue you into what is happening. So, that's what my team and I are doing. We already know this is happening. We already know this is possible. We already are doing this together. Yes, that's what I'm saying, Amber. That's what we're supposed to concentrate on. You know, we got all of this stuff in the history, all this stuff in the future. We don't need to worry about any of this shit. All we have to worry about is what do we want to create? Because we are creators. We have the ability to make this anything we want. If we want the fucking ocean to be purple, pink, or yellow, we can literally create that construct. Because right now, in this paradigm, in this construct, it goes by majority belief. Alright? Because we live in the constructs of energy. We live in the constructs of what you believe you receive. So with the majority belief, we're going into are you watching? Alright, somebody just messaged me and sounded like he's watching. Anyways, we're going into the alright, if a lot of people believe something, right, like that, let's say that gravity exists, boom, gravity exists. We co-created that together. That is the construct of this paradigm. If the majority believes that healthy food is plants and not animals, then when you eat animals, you die, because the mass of the co-creation goes towards this is healthy food and this is not healthy food. So if you go against what was massively co-created, you will suffer the consequences of that creation. So that's what I'm trying to teach everybody, is that we have to come together and co-create through belief in this construct, right? So first I have to break down everybody's program into that blank slate that knows that this is just a construct. that was constructed by others who are self, right? So we literally get to sit down. This is the beautiful part about the new paradigm. We're going to get to sit down together and say, all right, as I said, these are the words of the old paradigm. Words are just words. They mean nothing until we give them meaning, right? So if I want to take the word love and transfer it to hate, but it have the same meaning as what it did when it was love, that is still the same fucking thing. You're not changing anything. You still have the belief behind it. And that all-seeing eye that is you, the observer that wants to experience through you, the only thing that it can communicate with you with is your feelings, how you feel. So if you say the word fuck, for instance, but you feel a bunch of love from saying fuck, well, then it's going to give you some situations in your life that make you scream, fuck, this feels good. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's so much simpler than what everybody realizes. We put way too much energy onto shit that doesn't matter, right? So much shit that doesn't matter, because life is simple. If it's not simple, it's not life. What I mean by that is, if it is not simple to you, it is not the reality of life. If it's complicated, that means it's been way too misunderstood by man. And the only way to find the answer to any problem on earth is to go back to the source of it, which is you. You can go and look at all these problems all over the world right now, singularly. You're going to put a fucking patch on a tire. And what's going to happen? What happens when you put a patch on a tire? You're going to either have to repatch it or change the tire. Well, let's quit fucking patching the tire and let's change the whole fucking tire and do this over again. The right way. And that is what I'm trying to bring to the world, is that ability, right? Even our history, our science, everything that we've ever known in this paradigm, that's not it. That's not it. It's much simpler than that. We don't have to have this, you know, when you're speaking. I was doing this shit where I was like, man, I got so much work to do to get this done. And then I was like, what? What the fuck do I keep saying that to myself for? I'm literally spelling that into my existence. Then I'm binding myself to the construct of I have a lot of fucking work to do. Which is going to do what? Create a lot of fucking work for me to do. I'm not trying to do all that. We aren't sent. We didn't come here to experience running our vessel dry of everything that it is. We came here to experience the life that is here within us. So what do you want to write and spell yourself to? What construct are you putting up around you? Because you are building a literal wall, a prison around yourself every moment that you are feeling and speaking anything. So that is what I want to leave you with today. What do we want to create? I don't know. It can manifest the reality of not knowing. Yeah, it literally can. You can. That's how I manifested the reality of knowing. Was that I said every morning, I love the fact that I know and understand my life in this world so much better than I did yesterday. And through doing that was how I became to understand it. I spoke it into existence. Literally. Spoke it into existence. Just like, but see, that's the thing. That's the thing, Jesse, is yes, we can speak it into existence in this construct. I could teach you how to maneuver through this construct, or I could teach you how to break down the walls of the construct and us rebuild it together. Does that make sense? There's no sense in us living in a paradigm that is filled with strife and misunderstanding and people wanting to take themselves out, you know? And yeah, hey, that's what you want to do. And I'm going to say something about that too, because think about where you want to go. Alright? If you are the observer, and you are only having an experience, and every time that you get rid of the physical vessel that you're experiencing through, what is the observer going to do at that point when the observer loves to experience and the observer is nothing without you to experience with, right? What's going to happen? You're going to find a new experience. But where does the observer get the new experience if the observer is a servant that loves to serve you? It gets it from you. You create your next experience, your next adventure when you leave here. That's why when people leave and they come back, they have that near-death experience and they're like, they all had these different memories of where they went. One went to hell, one went to some weird place, one, you know what I'm saying? If you believe that you're going to go to the pits of this fucking hell that has fire and brimstone and all this shit, that's where you're going. You're going to experience that. If you believe that you're going to go to paradise, that's where you're going to go. If you believe that you're going to go live out the movie The Matrix or the movie Avatar or the movie Jump or the Avengers or whatever it is that you want to live out, you're going to fucking live that experience. All these things came from somewhere. They didn't come from nowhere. And everything that you can think in the mind, you can experience in the experience. So when you are living, you need to be thinking about where are you going to be having your next experience. Because if you think that you're just going to fall into a fucking black hole and a void and just be, as energy, then that's what the fuck your experience is going to be. Alright. So, what do you want to experience now? And what do you want to experience when you leave now? Those are your two fucking questions. That's all you need to be worried about in this whole existence. Nothing else. Everything else is a distraction. Everything else is bullshit. Make yourself happy. Do what makes you happy. Live, have fun, create, experience. That's what you came here for. Alright, let me read some of these comments because I haven't been able to read them. Alright, there's a... We must move forward together so it's fair. Yeah, Jesse, that's true. That's what I'm talking about. Look, I could sit... As much as I know, I'm not trying to boast about myself, but I know some shit. I could literally be like the ones that created the paradigm we're in now and just go be like, look, go tell a few people and say, we're going to build what we think is best for everybody. We're going to rewrite this whole matrix. And then they're all going to have to live by what we create. Because I know I have that ability. Because I know how it was built and how to rebuild it. I have the cheat codes. But why would I want to do that alone? Because if I make a decision without all of you, I am not including me because we are one. What does that help? What does that serve? It serves none of us. It only serves me. But how am I serving me if I forget you? So, that's how this new paradigm will get created. Just so you know. And we're all going to do it together. So, I had wrote down some shit because I always got so much going through my head. And it's not that I have thoughts. It's just that I am open to the flow of creation. That loop of creation where everything is. So, I'll be like, I'm going to talk about this, and then I'll get off topic because I have so much going on. I'm like, ooh, they need to hear this, they need to hear that. So, that's what happens. I think I covered everything, though, that I wanted to talk about today, because now there's nothing flowing. I'm just like, it feels good. So, if you're just tuning in, on the flip side, if you were just tuning in, unless everybody's got something else they want to talk about or ask for me to discuss. Hold on. I'm just seeing this, Jesse. Kids bringing pre-built Lego builds to school to try and play together. Kids breaking down and reassembling the blocks into one big something. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. We're going to break it all down into the nothingness that we are, to where we can know what we are, because you're on a whole different level playing field when you realize that not even energy exists, that energy is a construct. Your spirit itself is a construct that we live with. Come on, guys. Are you there? The spirit itself is a construct that someone once created through trying to explain what it is. And then other people believed it. And then bam, construct. That's what we live by. Your ego is a construct. Your life is a construct. Your religion is a construct. Energy is a construct. Love is a construct. Hate is a construct. Everything is a construct. Just like I was talking about the construct of love. If you're going to live in the construct of love, you need to understand the love in the construct. Because what is love to you may be love different to someone else. What you feel when you are in love could be the same feeling that someone feels whenever they murder. It's fucked up to say, but it's true. Because they may have come here to experience that. That may have been what they love to do. Whereas you love to go do things like fall in love and have wonderful experiences and love each other. It's the same thing. It just looks different to you and it feels different to you. But it's the same construct of love. Is that the darkness during the pole shift? Hold on, let me find reset function, but those are constructs, so exactly. When you break it all down, you realize that everything is a construct, so you can literally create it into anything that you want it to be. You can go ahead.
I don't want to watch your video.
You can create it, not you. It's a we, because we are one. So we can create it into anything we want it to be. Thank you so much. So that's what our discussions are going to be about, is what do we want to create? Fuck all this nonsense of talking about how shit ain't going right. Why the fuck we going to talk about what ain't going right when we know how to fix it? That don't make no damn sense. That's wasting energy. Oh yeah, that energy that is a construct that can be changed. You can literally change what energy does, how it affects things, how it affects you. You can even change its name. Because it was given a name by a being that is being right now. You just can't see that being. Because you ain't looking at yourself hard enough. Alright. We of the eye. Yeah. We of the eye. When they talk about... That's why you see the eye in the pyramid. It's why you see the eye everywhere. The eye is the observer. It's just observing you and observing the experience, and it wants to just make you happy. So, why are you wasting time on anything other than feeding it feelings that make you happy? What makes you happy? That's first what you got to find out. What makes you happy? What do you want in life? Go feel it. Go touch it. Go experience it. Be the observer for a moment and go experience it so that you can give it to the observer of you and let them serve it to you. But who is the observer of you? Y'all can smack me all you want. I love to mind fuck your ass because it's gonna unfuck your mind. You're starting with harmony. What do you mean you're starting with harmony? I don't forgot what I said, so what are you talking about? Isn't it, Jesse, isn't it a quite a conundrum and a circle when every word that comes out of your mouth you realize is a construct that you are creating and binding yourself to experiencing? Right, too many words. Way too many words. We don't need words. I've had literal conversations with people without speaking at all. Don't have to have the words. The vibes say it all. Yeah, right? Too many words ago. You know, there's something that I notice. People talking about all these races, all these religions all over the world. They're looking at that physical thing that's in the illusion. Not looking at what it is based off the eye of experience. Think of I separating itself from itself through these words, because that's what happened. We started using words and casting spells and creating and separating ourselves from ourselves. That's the only reason why we have different skin color. It's the only reason why we have different language. We separated ourselves from ourselves. How about that? Alright, so I think I'm gonna go now. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And another thing, go check out the video that I posted before I went live on the Godmother page. Because I know a lot of people that are not following that spirit. Alright. Oh, and the spirit is you, by the way. It's not something outside yourself. The more you try to separate you from what is, that created you, or that is you, or observing you, is the less you're going to understand it. I can tell you that. Tell you that real talk. You have confusion and a lack of clarity within you because you keep separating yourself from yourself and calling it other things outside of yourself. Oh, another thing, all these gods and all this stuff, like you talk about the mythical gods and God himself and Allah, blah, 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 all these different things, they're all constructs that we created, believed, and received. Same with demons. It's all a construct. We can change it all. Have a good day.